any second now. There we are. So that was SWARRRM with, if you can grab that a sec.
I struggle to pronounce it.
Side 1, track 1, Poison, Superfly Records. It's white vinyl 10-inch, which I think of all the formats is probably my favourite. If you're putting out a record, white vinyl 10-inch, then it kind of guarantees me picking it up, to be honest. Superfly, do you remember that lad?
I do remember Superfly.
What was that lad's name? Cunnell, was it?
Connor?
Cunnell.
No.
It was with a K. Cunnell?
Right.
I think.
I didn't actually know the guy, but I knew Superfly Records because Mob Rules.
Oh, Connor
was, I believe those guys put their record out through that when they did the first release.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to probably hear a little bit of a linkage to that because we've got Jupiter Lander that we're going to listen to.
Oh, was Screg in them?
Screg was in those.
Ben, sorry.
Yes, Ben. So Ben was in Jupiter Lander before. So what happened was...
Why can't I remember his surname? We always used to call him Screg.
I always just knew him as Ben. And
Yeah.
that'll be a running theme, I guess, with a lot of
I mean, it's not like I
bands.
was in 2 bands with him.
True. I used to kick around with Ben, through friends and stuff, but I don't think I ever knew his surname, to be honest.
Yeah, but anyway, SWARRRM, like I was saying when it was playing, absolute like Tasmania core. The vocalist, I remember when I first heard it, that it kind of changed how I viewed what you could do as a vocalist.
Yeah.
That it kind of opened it up. Like there's one of the tracks where it's like he's just having a straight up coughing, laughing fit, And this 10-inch it expanded my musical horizons within the parameters of the extreme quite profoundly, both just vocally, but also what they do just musically. There's some interesting shit. I think it's track 3. It's just like,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out in that period, wasn't it? Because it was like, I think when I looked, it was 2005, and that was just, you know, I mean, right in the pocket for like all these sort of bands that were coming through and doing a load of hardcore and power violence sounding stuff. There was like this kind of resurgence of power violence, and we'll probably get into that with some of the bands that we'll mention.
SWARRRM, I'm pretty sure they've actually stayed an active band the whole while. I saw on Facebook they're playing like a festival pretty high up as well this month, or they've just played it or something. So they're an active band doing stuff. They just need to get the fuck to the UK. Them at the Broodnell would be... Oh, what was that? Fuck, there was some, I think it was like a Japanese kind of power violence band that played the Broodnell, and the name escapes me, and they absolutely blew everyone the fuck away. I remember picking up the bass player and running around with him.
This could be quite a few.
Yeah, but anyway, it'll crop up before I go to bed tonight. So SWARRRM, I think I have no idea what we're doing with this show. We might, I guess, rip all the vinyl, put it online somewhere, because things like SWARRRM, and the reason for doing this show, that 10-inch isn't online. Superfly do have a pretty robust Bandcamp page, so check out their Bandcamp page, link here.
But it's unlikely to be on Spotify, or it isn't on Spotify.
It isn't. Well, it's not on the Bandcamp either.
Right.
So I think that 10-inch might not even be on YouTube. So point is, you might be easier just straight up tracking down the 10-inch, you know?
And just going old school. Keeping it real.
But that said, we might actually get it online when we work out what the fuck this show actually is. So that is what it is. So we're going to go with one of yours next, and we've got a 7-inch from the Unlikely Lads. What price Wonderland?
We've got What Price Wonderland, but I think we're starting with Jupiter Lander.
Of course we are. Jupiter Lander. So side 1, track 1.
Let's go.
Let's have it. Have we got the right speed?
It'll be 33.
33. So did you pull it down there?
Or is it? Yeah. Is it 33?
Let's find out.
Might not be actually. It might be 45, this one.
Fun of the fair.
That's too fast.
Switch whilst it's playing.
There we go. So you want us to go through and talk about during this?
No, we'll talk about it when we go through it. Yeah.
I sit on my hands until I can't feel them. Reassemble parts from the end to the start. The smell of satisfaction is hard to come by. And I'm not stopping now. I'm having too much fun. I'm having too much fun. My fingers are killing me. I'll put in my time and take the responsibility. touches paper, ink scored lines, Pepe prose, a melody. This is my release.
So aside from Ben, who was in that little lot then?
So it was a chap called Jake.
Oh yeah, Pontefract.
Yes.
He was deaf. He had a hearing aid.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he had two hearing aids.
Oh, okay. I forgot that little detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake's. I see him every once in a while at a gig. He's still around.
Is he?
And he's a bloody lovely lad. Yeah.
I've not seen him for years, and I would like to see him, to be honest.
Shouts to Jake.
Yeah, big shout out to Jake. I mean, I guess, to be honest, that band, I was never really kind of exposed to any kind of emo kind of band that sounded like this, where it was definitely rooted in
the OG shit.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know, early 90s, Indian Summer.
I've never heard any of that shit though. I think a pal of mine did me Knapsack on a mixtape when I was a kid, but
Knapsack.
I didn't like it.
I like Knapsack.
No.
I mean, the guy. Yeah,
I might like it now if I listen to it. Yeah.
The guy from that, I can't remember his name. He went on to do the Jealous Sound, which were also pretty cool.
Knapsack went on to do one of the biggies though, didn't they? There was I can't think who it is, but they went on to be. They were like.
Yeah, well, I know that one of the guy from the Jealous Sound, I think, I might be wrong, but I'm sure the guy from Foo Fighters played bass on it, but that might be bullshit.
Oh no, I meant like within the scene, like with Texas is the Reason.
Yes.
Shirt's namesake.
Yeah, a bit of
Mike.
Oops, sorry about that. So
anytime you talk and crackle, I'm going to edit it. So
yeah, all good.
But yes, I mean. Things like it was that level of Knapsack traversed into one of the big names within sort of the emo scene, I guess.
Yeah.
The next level of the emo scene.
Yeah.
But I'm blanking on the name. But
I guess this was probably, so it's 2006, and it was just before or around when Algernon Cadwallader were coming around into the scene, and they were kind of considered the kind of big emo revival.
See, they've just come back around, haven't they?
They've come back around and they've reformed because they went on hiatus for like 10 years. I mean, me and Stoz.
Shouts to Richard.
Shout out to Richard. We went down to see Algernon Cadwallader just on a whim.
At Brucknell recently, or?
No, it was at the Well. This is when they first came to Leeds originally.
Sorry.
Wasn't sold out. There was about, I don't know, maybe 60 kids there.
Yeah.
But it was just fucking unreal. Just like people just like trying to get on stage, and really, really cool band. But yeah, I guess Jupiter Lander were very much rooted in that kind of influence, and had a massive impact on me. I think really kind of really got me into checking out more of that kind of stuff and really sort of unearthing all the stuff like Mineral and all the stuff from all the great original stuff from the 90s. But obviously there was stuff like Orchid, so the like the scrams and screamo-y type stuff that was kicking around, and I think like that tail end of the track was kind of them
as I was saying,
to emulate that
you could hear Ben's kind of going crazy on the floor toms, getting a bit more kind of eclectic with the spread.
Exactly, it gets all a bit more sort of chaotic. But yeah, I absolutely love that band, and they had a massive impact on
So that was,
myself.
who was that again, sorry?
Jupiter
Lander from, Ricky was in there, wasn't he?
Yes.
Ricky, shouts to Ricky, fucking love that guy.
And there was Mike.
Leeds Mike. It was in Planes Mistaken for Stars? No,
yes.
Sorry, 4 Planes in 4 Days.
Yes, and he was in... was he?
He wasn't in Planes Mistaken for Stars.
I thought he might have been. I always get confused whether he was in... He wasn't in Death Hand Approaching, actually. He did
that was just...
He did artwork for it, I think.
No, that was Hippie Jim.
Hippie Jim, yeah.
Was that his name? Fucking, there's so many old school names.
I love all the names.
We just called him Hippie Jim.
Hippie Jim.
But yeah, that was Hippie Jim, and I can't remember the other lad's name, but Death. Oh, and they got in JMO as well towards the end, didn't they?
In Death Hand.
In Death Hand, yeah. Death Hand was sick.
Yeah, they were great.
I've got a recording somewhere.
Didn't stick around for very long, but they were fucking rad.
Put my hand on it. That's my stack of CDR demos just back up there.
Nice.
And I've got a Death Hand demo somewhere, but sick. So yeah, shouts to Ricky as well. Ricky's a good lad.
Yeah, he is.
The Pontefract scene was just full of lovely dudes.
Yeah.
That was good fucking vibes back then.
I remember seeing a random gig with, was it the Counting House?
Yes,
Which was a
really
really
old school, real like
school venue.
Wooden beams. It's like you're in a Dickensian story or some shit. And it was upstairs, and
you'd go in there, and I remember seeing, it was such, you see, it was a great eclectic gig, and you had Jupiter Lander. I think there was one of the sort of bands that were kicking around, like a hardcore band. I can't remember who it was now, but there was also Rolo Tomasi headlining as well, so it was just a random mix of bands at the time, and I do miss them kind of shows, to be honest.
Yeah, we're not young anymore.
No, I'm sure they are happening, but it's like
we got another record for us, Lukey boy. What are we going to go with next? We are going with What Price Wonderland.
Yes.
Sign Us Up, side 1, song 1. Who are these guys? Like I said earlier, I had no idea. I recognise the name from back in the day, obviously, but...
Again, just around the Jupiter Lander time, these guys were kicking around in Stratford-upon-Avon. I had to drive a friend's band down to a house show in Coventry, and these guys played, and that's when I met them, and I was like, who the fuck are these? These are fucking cool.
Let's have a listen. And do you want to chuck us the record?
Too fast.
That's the wrong speed.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we could get a... There we go. That was hilarious.
Yeah. It's like Mickey Mouse doing a hardcore band.
Game! Everything! Game! Everything! Everything!
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is that way. Sorry.
It's a learning curve all round.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, this is, so yeah, we were saying Joe C.
So it's Joe C.
And the name immediately leapt out as that's a collective dude.
It is,
so,
indeed.
just quick catch up, back before we had social media.
Yeah.
And
there was probably MySpace kicking around.
It was, but I think collective was late 90s maybe.
Mm.
But regardless, I guess forums were its own form of social media for the sake of human-to-human interaction. But Collective Zine was the sort of the UK's foremost emo screamo online resource, reviews, online forum for chats.
The reviews were brutal.
The reviews were always brutal. I'm trying to think if I ever got stung, and I don't think we ever got a review. We might have. They might have just. I think it was a kind of just a meh review where they didn't really bare their teeth for. I think Duckstab's first demo we got in there.
Yeah.
But I could give a fuck less about Collective, to be honest.
Yeah,
I was outside of that scene.
It was an interesting thing, but I couldn't help myself but just go on there.
Oh yes, I still went on there.
It was a resource.
Yeah, fantastic resource.
But you could see what bands were touring. You'd be like, oh, I Adapt are coming through at the Fenton or something like that, or all these.
And this is the place where people don't realise as well, because deeply rooted in the DIY culture of the European scene, that if you were a band at a certain level, going on tour meant that you'd go via, I guess, Avocado or one of the big booking agencies. If you were just like Joe Schmo like me and him, back in the day, you'd need to get in touch with the respective Joe Schmoes of every other scene across Europe, and fingers crossed there's somebody that's willing to put you on. And it was the places like Collective Zine, Fracture Forum Zine, Fracture Zine Forum, but all of the forums and these sort of places were where people could connect the dots. So as you say, I Adapt or say coming over, were they Iceland?
Yes.
So the band comes over from Iceland and they're like, hey, we are I Adapt and we need X number of dates between these dates. And you'd see that like people fall on it. Hey, I'm in Nottingham. Hey, I'm in Leeds, and a tour will happen literally within the space of like an hour.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how the scene operated back then. It was just a collective, literally, of people coming together. And What Price Wonderland sounds, and for the sake of knowing Joe C's involved, feels the epitome of a collective band.
Yeah, it definitely was. And you'd often see all members of the band. So there's a chap called Andy, who was the bass player, James, who was the drummer and did vocals with. Well, they all did vocals, but
sounds it.
James was a lovely chap, great drummer, really, really funny guys. But Joe C, like you say, he felt like he was, I don't want to, this maybe is the wrong word, but he was like the gatekeeper to Collective in a way, where if he got his stamp of approval, and a lot of the bands that were coming through at the time he was doing, I know that he was really sort of into doing really analog tape style recordings of bands and stuff like that, so was really doing that really early on. But I remember going and seeing these guys in Coventry at a house show, met them, and then it was just like, great band, and then sort of got them up to Leeds, and we were always seeing them play it locally and stuff. But yeah, as I say, Collective Scene was somewhere where I just would go. I'd see Joe C, would be posting out a band, and one thing would link to another, and you'd be like, right, who's this, and who are they putting on? And then you'd message them to see what venue they were doing promotions for, and that's how you could try and blag
get into that venue.
Yeah, blag a support on a gig.
Or get your band onto it. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, a lot of fond memories of What Price Wonderland and those dudes, and it was all, again, they'd play with Jupiter Land. I think they did.
They're split.
They're on a.
That rings a bell.
They were on a 1 in 12 benefit record together.
Yeah.
I think that's so. Jupiter Lander and What Price were on the same thing for a benefit for 1 in 12. Obviously, 1 in 12 is
the world famous 1 in 12 in Bradford.
Yeah, which has been a wonderful place for for punk and
they've just this weekend had the annual Means to an End festival, which didn't get over to. Had editing, worlds of editing.
Yeah.
Filmed 4 episodes last week, so my life is basically editing now. So I figured, why not one more?
That's good.
And this one is on STG Records and Blessed Hand Record. Blessed Hands.
Yeah. So Blessed Hands.
Blessed Hands. Brian's Blessed Hands.
So like, we'll get into another band, but they did release. If you remember, do you remember Faint, which was Mick's emo band, first emo band, Mick and McAvoy?
No.
They weren't around for too long, but they were cool. And Blessed Hands put them out. I can't remember what the release was. I don't think it was a 7-inch. I think it might have been cassette.
No, it happened.
But yeah, they were cool. And yeah, Blessed Hands. So they were doing a lot of these sorts of bands, and you always find that you have like 3 and 4 labels all collectively compilated stuff together.
I was looking at one earlier, and it was this fella here.
20 labels put it
out. This one's got 1, 2, 3. It's got 5.
Yeah.
And one of them's 213. What is that? Oh, I was thinking of 623.
Yeah.
625, 623.
I think it's 62. Is it 625?
Let's go with 625.
I think it is.
But this was just like.
But that was the way, right? Where.
And then you could like afford to kind of get a hard cardboard, and it was like.
Yeah.
Fucking.
But it's always been the way, right, for like punk bands, because.
Split the cost.
And
split the distro. Goes further afield.
Exactly.
If it's an international labels, then suddenly you've got distro in Japan or America.
And you've got reach, where you can then put your record out.
And then if they come on tour, you've got a tour partner in a different country. Any number of reasons. Lukey boy, where are we going next? We are gonna go. Ooh.
Oh.
Who's this?
End to Empire. Well, it's Lavochkin and End to Empires. Shall we do the second side? So this is End to Empires.
End to Empires. This is Beefy Boy and
so
the Derail lads.
So this is actually me, and the guys from Derail, and then it was Jim Olenik, who I know you had Dave Olenik on one of your podcasts recently. Great guy. But yeah, Jim, 30 Seconds to Armageddon versus Project. And then obviously the lads from Derail.
Let's fucking get some. And fingers crossed it's the right speed.
Good in this world of hate. The world
good friends Lavochkin up in the northeast.
So that's Hub, who, I mean, he's a scholar and a gent, right? I mean,
fucking legend, yeah.
I mean, he's been in so many great bands.
Shout out to Irked, new band at the moment. I'm absolutely loving, what's their fucking track? Running through the back streets. I think it's called Backstreets. Yeah, check out Backstreets. Absolute fucking banger of a track.
Irked are cool. Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many great guys in that band. They had Simon, who was the singer.
Si's in Leeds now, yeah. Yes. Shouts to Si.
Yeah, great guy.
Sharp old buddy.
You had Martin, who was a lovely dude as well. And he was always the guy who you could, like, get in touch with him, like, should we get a gig going, or what are you guys on with, so we can play together.
Isn't he in Leeds as well now? I bumped into him in the city centre like a couple of years ago.
Oh, right.
And
maybe he was just in town, but yeah.
I'm fairly sure he was living here, but he was doing like some sort of electronica project.
Yes,
him and the last wasn't it?
Yeah, so he was doing, oh God, what were they called? I put them on. They went on to support Human League.
Well, that's pretty sick.
They did a full UK tour with Human League.
Oh, nice. Shouts to Martin.
Yeah, so Martin.
Yeah, Martin is an absolute fucking beautiful guy. Love that dude. Fucking guy.
And then there was Ben.
Yes.
Who was also a great guy. Now, actually, me and Ben actually had a fallout over Yorkshire puddings.
Of course you fucking did. Me and you had a fallout over the best curry shop in Burley.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. But I do.
People will fall out.
I do love Ben.
Yeah, I still give him, because is he still chefing?
I believe so. Yeah, that's why he was really impassioned that you can't do a Yorkshire pudding with chicken apparently, or it has to always be beef. So there you go. Like strictly, from a chef's perspective.
Yeah. Chefs will have their opinions.
They will.
Shouts to Sebas. Every episode. So you got to get down to White Locks. White Locks, the best Sunday roast in Leeds.
It is.
And with Sebas running the show down there, it's no surprise. Anyway.
Yeah. It is delicious. Check it out.
Lavochkin though, gents of dudes.
Yeah, they were really, really nice guys.
End to Empires. How long did that band last?
That lasted, I think it might have been just under 3 years, maybe. We got to play some good gigs.
That's longer than I thought.
Yeah.
I think, because I remember
maybe it's 2.
Did you go under a different name at some point? Witches?
Yeah. No, Seagraves.
Oh yeah, there's a poster in Santi's.
Yes.
So if you go to Santiago Bar, look behind the bar and try and spot the poster for Seagraves. Still up there. Because I think, was there a release gig there or something?
Yeah, we played there with... wasn't the Ergon Carousel?
Oh, they were fucking great.
Yeah, Ergon Carousel
with
cool.
I can't remember any of their names, but
but those dudes were in some fucking great bands as well. Like before that, but I mean, yeah, End to Empire's got to do. I think we did Integrity, which was really fun, and Trial. Well, straight
nice.
Straight
it's all I was going to say it's all the gigs that Jim would have wanted to get.
Yes. Yeah. So
shouts to Jim Oleniak. I fucking love you, dude. But yeah, those are your gigs.
Yeah. Yeah, they were great.
As soon as you're saying like Integ and Trial, I was like, that's not Neil. That's not you.
No. And yeah, but we'd get thrown on with random stuff because we kind of, it's more the sort of metalcore, metally hardcore stuff,
but you had that like punkier edge, like the D beat shit thrown in, and it was like blasty beats in parts, so you could have been credible on pretty much a lot of hardcore gigs.
Yeah, they'd throw us on with that, and then I remember one time we played with Black Breath, and I was like, I can't believe we're fucking playing with Black.
Canadian.
They're like they're just like Entombed Worship. They just sound like they've got that really buzzsaw,
heavy
harsh
tone
guitar. Yeah, it's like, there's like Trap Them and them sort of bands who all use that like kind
sort of Swedish. I think
and they all have that kind of really nasty sort of. They use a HM2 pedal guitar tone to get that guitar tone usually.
Have you seen there's coming up at the Northern Monks Refectory spot, there's a guitar pedal.
There's a pedal thing next year.
Guitar pedal fest.
Yeah.
Conference. What would you call it?
Yes.
An event. So if you're a guitarist, or if you love your pedals, or if you just love your effects.
Pedal fest.
Yeah,
it's cool. That's going to be cool. So like,
you're going to go down for it.
I'm definitely going to go.
It's free entry, so yeah. Free entry.
I'm trying to rebuild my pedal board currently, so
okay.
It's definitely going to be somewhere that I'll check out, and it's at Northern Monk.
I mean, why would you need to rebuild a pedal board?
I just want to
because you're in a band, maybe.
Well, yeah.
Actually, guys, I'm in a band. We're recording at the band's.
Yeah, so I'm in another band with the guy who played guitar on that and did vocals. So he was in End to Empires with me, and we've decided to go and do.
To Neil Wright.
Neil Wright, he's like been the longest standing writing partner that I've had in bands, and we were just like, we've done heavy.
Hey, you can do no wrong. It's Neil Wright.
Yeah. It's true, but I mean, we've done heavy bands for years and done that in many different aspects. You know, we did End to Empires, it became Seagraves. We then tried to do something just in the pandemic, and that's another story. But then we were like, we both love pop punk, and we love like emo bands and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we've started something called Hidden Youth, and we're looking to release something hopefully in the first half of next year. So
sick. Well, let's get a gig happening.
We will.
Let's get a gig happening. Let's get Irked on the bill.
Yeah.
And who else we having?
We could have. Who's good at the minute that's really interesting?
I like. Oh, where is she? This one here.
Let's just mix it up and throw
the new Fig 4. Fig by 4. It's Leeds lass called Sarah. She's basically one-woman band, but then roped in her pals to kind of fill in the gaps in the live style. Right. But it's indie alternative, I guess, because I'm from the 90s, we'd call it that.
Yeah.
But it's just dead fucking good. That album's really, really fucking good. It's a year old last week. And yeah, I'll hopefully be getting Sarah onto the show soon.
Yeah.
I want to get, I had a chat with her about coming on the show, and I think she's a craft beer person as well. So the ideal for me is to get somebody in, singular guest, that's filmed for 3 separate shows.
True, yeah. So if she's a craft ale fanatic.
And she's got the vinyl.
She's got the rad wax.
So I reckon we could have our first triple guest. We've had 3 doubles. Where we've had the Parade of Grafters and Smashing Crafties filmed the same night.
Yeah.
But we're looking for a triple. So I reckon Sarah...
The triple threat.
The triple threat, Sarah, is that you? But yeah, figure by 4, definite possibility for that. But regardless...
Shout out to Jamie Farrell as well.
Yes, this has been put out by 30 Days of Night. That was run by the infamous Jamie Farrell and his good wife, Alice, up to a point. I think they were running it together to a point. But yeah, 30 Days a Night obviously what can you say?
Well, I mean, it's where Bring Me the Horizon cut the teeth, and
it's where most of an insanely strong segment of the UK metalcore, hardcore scene basically owes an insane debt.
Yeah, massively.
You can't understate, my brain's fried, so I'd never know.
I think you can't
overstate. You can't overstate the importance that Farrell, as a singular person, had on the entire UK scene.
Yeah, he had a massive impact on just like the whole metalcore thing, and then even just like beyond. I mean, he supported Gallows and did stuff with those guys.
But I would say, interestingly as well, even from like a business approach perspective, because I remember for him to kind of keep getting things to make ends meet, he would be like doing these bundle deals, and it would be like, hey guys, pay in for this deal, and it'll finance the next crop of releases, but it'll guarantee you getting this, that, and the other.
He was a bit ahead of his time, wasn't he? I think he was doing
the crowdfunding type approach,
but
really.
Also like almost like a subscription model where you would pay up front and then you would get a guarantee. You wouldn't know what releases there would be,
but you'd get a fuck ton
of
and
stuff.
T-shirts. He was always. I know it was like he got the rep of like the T-shirt band type thing and the T-shirt label. I know Derail. Between us, I remember Neil, Joe, he was tickled by it. Like, so he was like, someone called us a T-shirt band. It's like, well, you fucking are. You've got a million fucking T-shirts. You've got a dildo T-shirt at one stage, didn't they?
Yeah, I think.
Which, I
mean, the thing about Farrell that was funny, I remember apparently he went into a McDonald's once and bought 100 McDonald's burgers.
It's not like he's one for the extreme, is it?
No, and then he started just throwing them around in. This was like a bit of an infamous thing that happened where he got 100 burgers. I mean, he woke up in his bed covered in these burgers, but he then was just throwing them at people in the McDonald's, and then he had a great idea where, because it had started doing the rounds of the story, he then did a T-shirt where it was teed on, but written in like the sauce in between, and it was like a burger that was splitting apart in midair on the front of the T-shirt. And I thought that was like some sort of fucking marketing genius. He probably didn't even think about it.
But it's also just like entirely silly and irreverent in way of like I'll just that happened because I'm Farrell, so I'll just do that because it'll be funny.
Yeah,
and it was, but it also worked.
I mean, I had a lot of time.
So
Farrell.
Big shouts to Farrell. Right, what are we going to have next? We're going to go in with some Afternoon Gentlemen.
Afternoon Gentlemen, yeah. So this was,
and if we could get the record sleeve, that is, of course, our friend and lover, Mr. Paul Hanley. Oh,
yeah. So Paul Hanley was on the sleeve. So this was the second record that I put out on my small little label that lasted only a few years.
Beefy.
So Beefy Records. Again, there was about 5 or 6 labels. Beefy. Beefy. But yeah, so we got Paul to pose for a photograph, and then it was used to create the artwork. We've got Luke actually behind the camera there. He was involved intrinsically with
the artwork. I remember because it was the entire wall of his bedroom was taken up with it. I remember that.
So it was Moving Parts Collective with Richard Storrow and Luke, and they were doing a lot of artwork for bands at the time, and it was just the perfect thing to put together.
Right, let's fucking have some Afternoon Gents then. Track 1, side 1.
I wiped that because I sprugged on it, that's what. You don't see me, I went.
That is too fast.
They would have definitely been the fastest band if they.
Let's go from the beginning again.
It'll only be short anyway. Because you can cut it anyway.
Yeah, here we go. Nope.
Smith was, to be honest,
and it was Rich on vocals.
It was Rich Speakman on vocals.
Yeah,
who's a lovely guy, great guy. But Smith was just a total fault. He was thought and this was just before Singer and Smith and this guy he was doing the rounds on this one. Kind of were coming at it from a real sort of this power violence hardcore side of things, and it was just this marriage of the two sounds really.
Yeah.
So you have this. Well, they were called, you know, referring it to at the time as LS6 grind violence. So it was, you know, they were mixing that grindcore sound, a bit more metally sounding with real sort of tenacious hardcore guitars.
I tell you what, the drumming though on that, it's just so fucking tight.
It's just precise.
So just I think that's.
I mean, I don't know if they played to a click, but I'd probably doubt.
That's what I was going to say. I kind of doubt it, just because of who they are as people.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, sometimes with that stuff, you lose. It can become too mechanical. But I think Smith's precision on
carry talking. I'm just going to in the background find Rich's new band, just so I know what.
Yeah.
Just to give them a shout out.
Yeah. But yeah, those guys. So we got them together with like Active Rebellion and Cat and Owl Records, which was Jen and Spad. Shout out to those guys.
For the split element.
Yes,
yeah,
for the split.
For the other labels.
Yeah, the other labels. So, I mean, essentially, you know, Afternoon Gents was kind of the remains of what had come out of Warboys, which was like those guys' first kind of attempt at doing like this kind of sound, but it was just one of those at the time where it just made you kind of sit up and was like, these guys are the fucking tightest. They are relentlessly talented at what they were doing. And, you know, they went on to play with some fucking great bands. I remember Mick was saying they were going and
they've toured the world.
Yeah, they've toured the world. They'd played US Maryland Death Festival. They were playing with Weekend Nachos. They played with...
Of Leeds bands...
At this extreme sound.
I would know... Yeah, okay, yeah. But of Leeds bands that were like, say... very small and very unassuming to those that have existed alongside them, I'd say Afternoon Gents probably have achieved more than anyone else I can think of.
Yeah. I mean, and they were just like a touring machine. Yeah.
And a release machine as well.
Yeah, a release machine. They did some great.
And, you know, Smith, well, the guys, they've continued in that vein. So Smith is still churning out stuff.
Yeah, he's
EDM something? EKDM, I don't know, there's some sort of letters of a thing that he's involved with. We'll put it here. Yeah. But regardless, whatever he's involved with is going to be sick, no doubt.
Yeah, it's always worth checking out.
Yeah, and Rich, just to give a shout out to the Speakman, Acceptance is his new band. They had a name previously. Of course they had a name. They had a conflict of... There was a band from Manchester that had the same name. And I think maybe the band from Manchester was better.
Right.
I'm only saying that because I've only seen them. And the band from Manchester were fucking phenomenal.
Right.
Like just... you know when you watch a band for the first time and you're like, who the fuck are they? And how can I know you?
Yeah.
Seriously fucking great band. Blanket on the name, but I'll put it there. But Acceptance, so acceptance.leads, check them out because Rich is involved, so it's guaranteed to be good again, regardless, as I say. But
his vocals, though, I mean, it just, I'm always fascinated with those kind of vocals where it's just like this kind of, it's like, I don't even know how he achieves such a really discordant sound.
The pig one, or? I hate the pig voice.
The pig voice, all of it really, because it's so abrasive on your vocals. And,
it's not fun.
But I mean, that's the sacrifice that people make for it, right?
And he's also in... I can't reach it. The cassette section is behind us.
Yeah.
Fafo.
Yeah.
Fuck About, Find Out is another of Rich's bands. I think he's the guitarist in that band. That is the wonderful Steve Miles. If you know that lad?
I don't think I know him, no.
Steve Miles was around back in the day, but I didn't know him.
Yeah.
I did an interview with him, and we kind of like just felt it out and worked out where we crossed paths and things.
Right.
So we were around each other, but never knowing each other.
Yeah.
Excellent fucking dude. He's in a band called Thank at the moment, who
Right.
are not my cup of tea by any stretch. Just one of those like Idolsy sort of.
Right. Okay. Well, that's all very in, right?
It is, and they're doing really, really fucking well for themselves. But it's just not my bag. But everything else Steve does, I fucking love. And Fafo, Fuck About Find Out, just phenomenal. Real sort of power violence stuff. And Steve as a frontman is incredible. He's a drummer for everything else he does.
I know you've said it. I'm trying to say. I feel like I do know who you mean.
Oh, he's a handsome chunk of a man.
Right.
If you'll see him, you'll want to know him. But
well, maybe I need to go check out some of these bands as well.
Fuck yeah!
So
let's get ourselves to Damage Control. And is that what it's called?
Damage Control.
Damaged Goods.
Yes.
Damaged Goods. It's because they always call it some other fucking stupid name.
Yeah.
And I just forget what it is. The Armley Spot.
Yeah.
Right, let's go in with something else.
What we got?
We've got, is it Hangover Heart Attack?
Oh. Dead Sea fucking Scrolls.
Oh, well, let's have both of them. What time are we actually? You've got to bounce, haven't you? We got time.
We're good for time.
We'll just bang it on. We'll see what happens either side because we're playing both.
These were a funny bunch of dudes, though.
Which one we having?
Dead Sea fucking Scrolls.
Weren't that Theo's brother?
No.
Oh no, that was.
It's funny that you mentioned Theo though, because Theo was in Chronicles of Adam West.
Yeah.
And those guys played with Dead Sea fucking Scrolls.
Let's do it, Luke. Drop the needle.
What a beast.
They were from, is it Leicester?
Nottingham, I think.
I only say Leicester because we went down to record, one of the old bands went down and recorded 18 fucking tracks with one of the lads from Hangover Heart Attack at their Leicester studio, and then got the phone call a week later that they lost the recording somehow.
Oh my god.
And then I think that was basically...
It's like the worst thing that can happen.
We weren't in the best place as a band anyway, and it was that thing where like once we got there it was like the other guys were like, we're just not interested now.
Yeah.
And we just called it a day. But it was fucked up because we had like, it would have been, I think we were going to do a split with Hangover Heart Attack.
Right.
A 7-inch of our own.
Is this with Duckstaff?
Yeah.
Right.
And then a split with somebody else, because we had like 3 demos worth of tracks to pick from, as well as unrecorded tracks that we had.
Sure.
But yeah, that's my own little personal gripe. But fuck it, Hangover Heart Attack guys were lovely dudes and great fucking band who put out a lot of records.
They did, and they always seem to have like a lot of 7-inches. I think that was, I mean, obviously that was the more affordable way to get a vinyl out, right?
Yeah.
But like I've got a few of theirs at home where there's just, and the artwork was always fucking great.
Yeah, you were saying that's Chris Narcosis.
Yeah, Chris Narcosis did this. I remember that was the guys in Dead Sea fucking Scrolls. So shout out to Addy, who has been like such a wonderful person to me over the years. Where with Cyvoid we'd do a tour or play a weekender down in like Guildford or wherever, and he'd put you up. I know, just like the back end of nowhere.
But it's weird that like you say Guildford, but it was there were a stack of fucking good people and bands from there. There
was a release
and promoters and just everything. Yeah,
it's just popped in my head now. I remember Addy from Dead Sea fucking Scrolls, who was the band on the other side that we'll probably spin shortly, but. I remember him handing me a 7-inch that he gave me for free. I think I don't know why they were giving them out for free. Like they kept handing these 7-inches out, and it was called No Sleep Till Guildford, and it was all these like Guildford hardcore bands. I think they'd almost have chipped in to do like a compilation
to give it out to the bands that come back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was fucking great, and like Smittens as well, who was in Dead Sea fucking Scrolls, was one of the most hilarious people that I ever met in like the fucking hardcore scene. He was just wild, always up to no good.
Speaking of which, Ben Palmer says hi.
Ben Palmer, fucking love that guy. He was the drummer in End to Empires. But I love Ben. I haven't seen him for ages, to be honest.
We're getting him over, I think, the next week or so.
Yeah.
He's over for a funeral, so we're going to grab him and do some filming.
Let me know if you're about, because it'd be good to see him. And
fuck yeah.
The last time I saw him, we went to Botch together earlier in the year.
Oh yeah. You got that hotel in Manchester.
It was just a random Airbnb thing.
Okay,
me and Ben stayed over, but Botch were fucking just like unreal, as you can imagine.
I remember seeing them in the 90s, and I didn't, or maybe might have been 2000.
Was it the Pack Horse?
No, it was. I got the flyer for that down there though, but it was in London, and I basically drove to London for it, and then ended up like just hanging out on the distro area, chatting to pals whilst they were playing.
And then you missed it.
Which I weren't asked. Oh. It was Nate Haight, one of the lads from Canterbury area. I remember him saying at the time, I don't remember, guys, Botch is only one letter away from bitch. So we were like, fuck them, let's not watch them. And I didn't actually then listen to Botch for like a good 10 years after that.
Oh, man.
But then obviously it was an education when you finally do, but maybe 5 years after that. But
We Are the Romans, what a fucking, I love that record.
Yeah, it was, forever, I can visualise like Nate at that gig. Like, it's just one of those things, like that thing of you go to gigs to sometimes see your pals, and that's the bands could be the bands. That was
a lot of local gigs as well. You'd be like, I'm going to go down to the Fenton tonight, and I don't know the fuck's playing. There's one band out of 4 or 5 that are on. It's
but
£3
people will be there.
It's £3 in.
Yeah.
I mean, those days.
But for me, it was like, I didn't know anyone. Well, the people that I knew in Cardiff weren't really, I had a couple of hardcore pals, shout to Mark and the gang, but like, it was because I was getting out further afield. I would meet these people and feel like I need to get to that. I need to go to that. And it was almost like I had to go to London. I had to go to Nottingham to see the friends that I then would just, meander down the road to the rail house and just see them kids. And it was just that level of it, of just needing that connection with the people that you connect with.
Yeah. Very true.
But don't forget, kids, Botch is only one letter away from bitch. And with that, let's try some...
We got...
Dead Sea fucking Scrolls,
that's the one.
Man. Hook it up, Luke.
It's brutal. I mean, the intro as well.
Well, it was the intro, and then it was like the first track being a bit, okay, that's imagine, and then
it just you kind of know it's going to be fucking heavy, but
that power violent assault
on
sick.
track 2 is
yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing these play for the first time, and it was, to use your phrase, a bit of a baptism of fire, because Gaz Morgan, the front man, he'd found a pair of like a thong somewhere in the Fenton, and then he just wore it. It was a sequin thong, and he just put it on and came out naked with like just that.
Because there was that little side room, wasn't there?
Yeah,
and people were just so many times where people would be getting set up for whatever shtick they were doing on stage that night.
And he just was fucking playing the gig, just start bollock naked with, and it's a thong that his fucking tackle was just waving around. But you've got that with
bollock in the breeze.
Bollock in the breeze, and then these guys were just fucking going at it, and it was an absolute onslaught. And I was like, these guys are fucking great. But they didn't last long. I think again they were only around a couple of years, and then they went on to do Smittens went on to do almost like a hot water music style sort of band, completely different. And then they all moved to America. I remember seeing them.
Doesn't matter. We can do it after the fact.
Yeah, we can do it after the fact. I'll have to ask Smittens. I can't remember the name. They weren't around. And then I do remember what they tried to go and do a pop band in America.
The lads from Guildford.
These guys moved to Florida for like 2 years and went fully at it. And they did a band called The Cold Start.
Okay, did they have finance or something, or a backer, or?
I don't know how it worked. I don't know if they've all just clubbed in.
Yeah.
And it was almost like...
That's a fucking story I want to hear.
Yeah, and I mean, they were doing videos, and they had there's a guy called Lloyd who did vocals in them, and he was actually a fantastic singer, and now he's like a sound engineer for fucking huge bands, does loads of stuff, but yeah. Really nice guys. Addy, Gaz, Nick, who have I said? Smittens. Yeah, so cool guys.
Absolutely sick. So that was blanked on the name already.
Dead Sea fucking Scrolls.
Dead Sea fucking Scrolls. What a fucking name. It was. I remember seeing them on flyers back in the day, but I'm pretty sure I never saw them somehow.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's been an absolute fucking blast. So what was the band again? Hidden Youth?
Hidden Youth.
Hidden Youth, is it at Hidden Youth?
Yeah, so at Hidden Youth Band.
Careful with Mike.
At Hidden Youth Band, you can follow us there on Instagram and all that kind of bollocks. But
sick times. Yeah. Right, well, we're going to put on... wait a second. So this is the Get Up and Goers, and it is another reason why I really wanted to do this show, because this 10-inch, and it's, blue vinyl 10-inch, also sought after format.
Vinyls, you.
I think
the your vibe.
The 10-inch is the optimum size for me, and white is just perfect. But if it's coloured, then I'm an autistic fuck. I'll be drawn to weird colours.
I'm always drawn to 10 inches because they're all.
Hey, I know. I've heard these stories. Thanks for the shout out, pal.
But they're an unusual size. Don't get into that. You don't see them on the shelves in record shops as often.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
it's a bit more of a rarer format.
Potentially a cost element. I don't know what the aspect there is. Or
I mean, as someone who's put them out, it's one of them where.
Well, you've put it out.
Yeah, it's one of them where the leap though from a 7 to a full LP 12-inch.
Yeah.
You just kind of think, well, I'm actually almost paying for an LP.
I get it. So like, may as well go the extra,
go for the full artwork. But.
So this is the Get Up and Goers from, do you know what, I'm going to blank on where they're from, somewhere in Scandinavia, but they had this, they came over to the UK in like 2000, and I remember like we were just entirely blown away by the flow of the vocals. Musically it's just straight up like hardcore stuff.
Yeah.
But the vocal stylings of this lad, it was very like kind of the irreverent sort of Scandinavian, hey, and you can, what you'll hear now, it's like, it's very just, I've never seen anything like it before, and I've never seen anything like it since. Their music isn't really available online. I remember when I found their tracks on YouTube, and it was like all they've got is like, I think there's like their last ever gig.
Right.
I think is their only presence online.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, this vinyl needs a shout out. So this is side 1, track 1, the Get Up and Goers. Hope you've enjoyed it. Any second now.